my attempt to kind of present one of the companies which I think is very interesting. But then there's a lot of, interest going on around here. People in our circle are really, really interested about this business, which does have the potential. But let's see how it works out, right? I am also partially invested in this, but again, as a disclaimer, any of you who's investing, please go through the numbers, right? And hopefully, don't take my assumption correct. Okay, so Gujarat Fluorochemicals, they are very interesting because they are a Indian chemical company. They have been in the industry for almost 30 years. They have a lot of experience in fluorine chemistry. So they
Sorry,
manufacture.
Gaurav. Sorry to
Are you
interrupt, but are you already presenting a PPT? Because I can't see the PPT on screen.
Oh, sorry. Okay, okay. I'm
Yeah,
presenting.
I can see your Google Meet screen actually.
So I've got three screens. That's just so sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, no worries.
So I'm doing it from Notion directly.
Yeah, now we can see it. Yeah,
Perfect. Okay.
go ahead.
So again, Gujarat Fluorochem, they have been in the fluorination business for 30 years, and the Inox Group, who are their mother company, they are, I think, almost a 90-year-old business, right? They are mostly located in Dahej in Gujarat, and the promoters are from Noida. So the main business segments of Gujarat Fluoro is currently they are bulk chemicals, fluorochems, fluoropolymers, and new age industry. Hopefully, you can read my screen, right? Because I have a larger screen. I'm not sure whether you can see it, but I
Yes,
can't
so
extend this.
I have zoomed in basically to read
Hmm.
comfortably, and I think the
Okay,
others also can sort of pinch to zoom in and read it.
right. So I'll just go deeper into each of the products and why we think this is an interesting business for us to kind of look into. So what does Gujarat Fluorochem do? They are into fluorination chemistry. So what they do is they take in fluorospar from mines, convert that into various types of fluorine products. Now, fluorine is a very interesting product because they go into your toothpaste, they go into various things, even your Teflon pans. Like you have these non-stick pans, right? So the surface of these non-stick pans are PTFE. So that is poly PTFE. I forgot the full form, anyways. So what it does is it's a non-reactive layer, and it doesn't allow your food material to stick to the pan. So this is where mostly fluorine comes into picture. It's a very important industrial material. It's a very important agrochemical and pharmaceutical material. Um, in the bulk chemical vertical, they have these caustic soda, chloroform, methylene dichloride, and CTC. The uses are again textile as a refrigerant, pharma API, and pesticides. So there are multiple users and multiple end customers. So the other one is the fluorochemical business, where they have hydrogen fluoride based agrochemicals, fungicide, insecticides, then TFE based, KF based, and refrigerant. So these are all various, what do you call it? Short forms of different type of polymers. I also don't know some of it. Uh, However, this segment, these two segment, the bulk chemical and the fluorochemical vertical, these are mostly commoditized. I mean, there are multiple other peers out there, and the pricing, the margins over here are not that great. However, Gujarat Fluorochem is one of the oldest players, so they have a lot of capacity, and they can more or less survive. What is interesting is their fluoropolymer business, which is basically PTFE, where they have a substantial edge against all Indian players, and globally also they are, I think, amongst top three or top four players, because the R&D that they have put into PTFE, which is basically the Teflon that I was telling about, that is used in oil and gas, pharmaceutical, automotive, many places. Wherever you need to have low friction surfaces, there you use PTFE. Their micro powder, which is again a version of PTFE, that is also used in many things such as oil, paints, etc. PFA is an upcoming topic. PFA, PDEF, FEP, FKM, PPA. These items are upcoming. Some of they're very interesting because they go into semiconductors, and as you know, semiconductors are becoming a industry. I mean, it's a national security issue. So that's one of the areas where they are getting into. And one of the interesting thing, last year we had the semiconductor glut. One of the reason why we had that glut was this PFA and this, I think, uh, PPA, most likely PFA and PPA. These materials were not available for semiconductor production facilities. The PDF is very interesting because they go into, I mean, what the company is trying to do is they are going to make PVDF, which will go into battery binders. So basically your battery has two say anode and cathode. So think of it as two parts of the battery where this element goes, and they probably form like 20% of the weight. They are very critical, and as you know, with the transformation of the automotive industry, electric vehicles are coming. That transformation is happening. So we expect an overall growth of this business. um, Battery related chemicals are very complex, and the grade is very high, so the margins are also very high. So that's what's exciting most of the uh, investors who's looking into it. Other than that, FEP and FKM is also there, again in semiconductors, aviation and all. But this PVDF and PFA is most interesting. uh, Other use cases for them is 5G and then solar panel. So for solar panel, you have this surface, back surface, which is a PVDF surface. So that is really important, because if you use normal plastic, it cannot sustain over 15 years, uh, or less. Actually, in harsh environments, they can't sustain. So these kind of items are very important. There also they have a couple of revenue growth. And finally, their new age industry vertical, this has been also exciting people. So their electric vehicle industry, where they're talking about PVDF electrode binders, battery chemicals, then lip F6. So this is basically electrolyte. Now electrolytes are something which goes inside the battery. They are like a um, watery liquid, which allows batteries to kind of exchange charge and all of those things. They are super important, and currently I think China is the biggest supplier of it. And if GFL produces this, which they plan to do it by 2025, they are going to be one of the top player. And I expect the entire EV transformation and EV manufacturing that is happening in India, they would be right in the center to capture all of that. And right now they are at the forefront of it. Other chemical companies have not yet come so close. Most of them have announced capex, but this is a complex chemistry. Other than that, they are also into solar panel, as I was discussing, backsheets and PVDF film, and hydrogen fuel cell, this PEM. So there are some components of the hydrogen fuel cells where they would be using these things. So this is something like this. This is a lithium ion battery. You have a negative part of it and a positive part of it, and in the between there is a separator which separates the negative and the positive so that they don't short. Think of it like your if you have a negative and a positive part of your plug sockets. If you put a wire through it, there would be a short circuit. So something like that. So this surface actually stops it from shorting. Here one product goes, and on these sides there is some those PVDF binder which goes over here. So these are the two areas. For solar panel, they have I think in the
Gaurav,
bottom part.
sorry, one
Mhm.
question.
Yes,
So,
yes.
do you have a visualization for LiPF6 here? Like LiPF6 also goes into the battery somewhere,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
they go over here. So there are three things over here. One is this PVDF separator, one is
Mm-hmm.
the PVDF binder, and yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention the lip 6. So lip 6 will be all across. I mean,
Okay,
so the electrolyte, what happens is, I mean, the entire thing is swimming in electrolyte. It's
right.
mostly restricted into this separator. So this
Mhm.
separator is actually soaked in lip 6. Uh,
Okay,
what lip 6 does is it allows lithium ion to transfer from anode to cathode. So it just helps it to go cross the boundary. Yeah,
okay, okay.
like that. So again, solar panel, they have these back sheets. This is the back sheet, I think, point number 4. Let me try to expand. Yeah. Point 4 is the black back sheet. So this is where PVF or PVDF comes into picture. So as our solar mission is growing, and ultimately everything will be solar, that's my point of view. They are going to benefit a lot. These are component manufacturer who's going to benefit a lot in this space as well. Then there is electrolyzers. So over here, if you see, there this is a fuel cell basically, and you must have been hearing a lot about fuel cells also. This is a upcoming, I mean, it's an old technology. There are a lot of optimism that's building on top of it, but at least these companies are selling some of these items which is used over here. So I don't know whether the fuel cell will play out or not. However, because they have a foothold into these complex technologies, I think it's a great sign um, in general. Any question on the products? Because I would like to spend some time over here if you have any technical questions.
Yeah, I'll wait for anybody to have technical questions. Then, with my dumb knowledge of chemistry, I will just ask a commercial question.
Okay.
So Lip6 is a compound.
Yeah, Lip6 is a compound.
It's basically LiPF6,
Ah,
lithium hexa polyfluoride or something
Right.
like that. Yeah.
yeah.
This is over.
So my question is, so what are the products, the compounds that everybody is excited about? It's PVDF, LiPF6, FKM, and something called PFE or something, right?
Yes, so there are three engines of growth. One is this refrigerant wala portion, this
Okay.
refrigerant. So there's a ban coming. So ban there's a by 2025 there's a capacity ban that is coming. So people who are putting up I mean capex right now, they can't put up capex after 2025. And because of some convection, Kyoto convection and all, some
Hmm.
of the chemicals are not allowed after that point of time. So this is where GFL has a great advantage. As global warming and all of these things are coming up in Europe and America, they are getting extreme hot wind summers. Actually, my colleagues in Germany, suddenly they get a spike in the month of May and June, when this temperature is very
Yeah.
high and they need coolant and all. So that's one interesting space where they're putting up chemicals like R22 and R32, which
So
are
how
of
is
the
it
future.
going to help? You're basically saying the ban is going to come in Europe, so that's why Asian players are going to benefit.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
That's one of the places where they are anyways the largest producer of refrigerant. So that's a business, that's a legacy business which is ongoing,
Okay.
right? And that's generating cash flow. The next, what they are doing with that cash flow is building their new age business. One is their PTFE business. So PTFE is considered a commoditized product. So all the other SRF and all, they are making PTFE, but they are making the lower grade PTFE, the Teflon that we eat on. I
Hmm.
mean your pressure. I mean your tawa and all.
Yeah.
But what these guys are doing is they are going into more advanced micro powders and solution based PTFEs, which are tiny and they are hard to manufacture, and there's a way to manufacture it. Another point is the process in which they are manufacturing PTFE. That's a green process. It's called green chemistry. Because
Hmm.
recently what happened is a large manufacturer of PTFE, 3M basically, they have a liability of I think around $32 billion, because they were using a process in through which they were generating some harmful chemical which stays forever in the environment and also
Atmosphere.
goes in
Hmm.
atmosphere. So that's called PFAS. So that also shows how GFL is a great I mean they have a forward looking thinking, and they are investing in technology, and they have the technical capability.
So
Yeah.
GFL's process does not cause that emission,
No, they
PFAS.
in fact they had announced it 5 years back that we are
Wow.
going to be a green chemistry based thing.
So
So
3M is a global giant. So you're saying JFL's process in PTFE is probably better than 3M's.
not I'm not going to say better, but then at par. Yeah,
Okay.
at par. I mean they have the capability. That's more important.
Right.
Yeah. They are not laggards in this case. They can go head on head.
Right.
So this PTFE is very interesting, and they give surprise earnings many times. The entire segment over here, micropowder, PFA, PVDF, FEP, FKM, PPA, they serve various industry. If you see their list, it's everything. Who's who of the entire thing, right? Entire
Mhm.
industry. I
And
mean,
these
you
are the exciting products you're
yeah,
talking
these
about.
are the exciting products, and the company has been putting up capex. So this is that kind of a business where they can put up increasing capex, and they'll generate same margin. So
Okay.
that yeah, so
Okay.
that way. And then they have this new age industry vertical. So over here also, all the fluorine related items that is there, they're trying to capture that. In the this from the cell point of view, they are capturing three main things. One is the binder, one is the chemicals, the additives, lipsticks, and also the electrolyte. So basically the separator, the binder, and the electrolyte. So they are capturing a large part of the entire cell as well, other than the lithium sulfate and all, lithium
Got it.
electrodes and all. So that's also interesting, but this will come up by 2025. So there's some time for it to come up.
But
But
is
people,
it like like our investors confident that they will succeed with this product? Is it a proof of concept, etc. is done?
so right now the company has been saying that it's in test phase right now, and
Okay.
once they get approval, because many companies are testing with their these chemicals, and
Hmm.
because they are able to make battery age based chemicals. But once they are able to get through the certification process, they will have capacity. So the company has been very positive about the capacity buildup of this one.
And this certification is a government certification,
No,
or
no,
it's
no.
certified by battery
battery
companies?
battery companies.
So
So whoever is
CATL and those kind of
correct,
companies.
correct. So whoever will be, say
Purchasing.
Amara
Yeah,
Raja wants to build up a giga factory which they had announced. So they
yeah,
would they are probably taking chemicals from GFL and trying to make cells and
right.
preparing all of that. So this
Got
is
it.
exciting. For me, solar panels are also exciting because as the country moves toward green energy, which is obvious for us because of the sun time that we get, uh, your PVDF consumption would be higher and higher. And your hydrogen, this is a moonshot, but then at least they have the capability to build it. So this is good for me. Yeah.
Right. And the solar panel, sorry, I missed it. So the
Mm.
PVDF backsheet, is it like close to being commercially successful, or is it like a long shot still?
This is going to be, so I have the con call there. I have all the details about each of the segment.
Okay, okay, sure. I'll
We'll
I'll
go
go
over that.
through it.
But
Yeah.
in the next 2 quarters, we'll get some feedback on this one.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So I'll quick.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. So I'll just quickly go on the legacy of the business. So this business is from the Inox GFL group. You might know Inox as one of these, cinema distributors and all. So they are part of it. It's an old company, and they have branched out into fluorochem, specialty, wind, and renewables. The promoters are risk takers, but they are pretty good. I mean, they have a good direction. They take huge risk. They have been, I think, pioneers of also energy. This green credits, carbon credits, and all of that. These are the various companies of the group, and this is how the Inox GFL group is kind of broken down. So there's a chemical business and a renewable energy business. Currently, there's one bone of contention, but this it is getting clearer, and it's getting resolved. That GFL is giving corporate guarantees for Inox Wind. However, the company has been consistently saying that we are reducing the guarantees, and it's also showing in numbers. So the management is able to walk the talk in general. Yeah. So now I go into the con call directly, right? So I have actually a Word document. I'm trying to take up everything from the Word document to here. Anyways, so let's talk about the quarter three financial year 23. So the caustic soda revenue, which is basically your general commoditized chemical, there they had a 6% up jump in earnings, but it was down 12%. And also in the next quarters, expect a dip in revenue from this one because there are many competitors coming up in this space. I mean, Tata Chemicals and all, they're all building up capex over here. Chloromethane, which is also a part of their bulk chemical segment, here they have they are putting up new capex over here. Then there is their refrigeration system. So here, because it's a winter season, so their numbers are down almost 9% quarter on quarter. However, if you look from year on year basis, it's up 196%. So that's a very good sign. Um, and this is also where surprise earnings are coming. Then they have the specialty chemical revenue, which is a part of their fluorochemical. So they have combined these two together, and over here nothing is coming. I mean, this quarter there is no earning, but it is expected to earn around 100 crores in this one. I think I sorry this quarter they have added it up. uh, Last quarter they had divided. So what they did this quarter was they had combined their various businesses together. So that's why I have a breakup of this one. Yeah. uh, for the PTFE, it's down 3%. However, it's up 41%. Now the PTFE prices most likely had gone down during this commodity downtick, but they had been able to keep their margins and their profitability, and year on year they're up. And they have also kind of put up or plan to put up a 500 crore capex on this space. In their consolidated revenues are almost 1400 crores. And I'll jump next to, yeah, capacity. So what's interesting about this business is, other than the margin, the capacity that they are building up. So in refrigerant, they have around around 5,000 tons of capacity, plus they have like around 10 to 15% of bottlenecking capacity. So they would have almost around 5,500 around for R25, and the utilization is 70 to 80%. That was for last quarter. So this quarter they didn't give the number. For R32, which is the promising chemical, I mean, after this, R125 will get phased out, and R32 will be the one which will stay. Here they have 10,000 tons of capacity planned by Q1 of FY25. So this capacity will come up, and this will give them good amount of cash flow. The PTFE's utilization is 85%. Now they are trying to go. I mean, they have announced debottlenecking, and the company wants to reach 100% utilization, then announce more capacity. So they are not building more capacity and then underutilizing. One tailwind over here is the 3M's exit from PTFE and the PFAS regulation, which I was telling about. So this should, I mean, once the 3M goes, maybe in 1 or 2 years, this should give a good spike in the revenue, this PTFE part. Uh, in terms of fluoropolymers, which is their solar back panel, FKM, PVDF, PFA, basically everything to do with all their solar new age batteries, all of those. There they have around 1100 tons with a utilization of 75%. In the solar back panel, they have 700 metric ton capacity, and this would be done by the end of Q1 FY24. So next year by June they should have this. So what my goal is, I try to compare this to this to the current quarter and the next quarter to see whether the management is walking the talk. The FKM capacity is 1500 tons per month, and there is constant demand for this. So the company, even though there is some downtrend in demand, the company is able to sell off everything. In PVDF, they are making more than 100 tons per month, but this will spike up. Currently, these are all being tested by various, at least the battery grade chemicals are being tested by manufacturer. For PFA, they have 1500 ton. They are going to extend it to 3000 ton by March 2024. For Lip6, now they have by February 23, almost 2000 tons are to be commissioned, and and the entire cost, the 2500 crore, is going to be split between this financial year and next financial year. So this Lip6, this item. Yeah, one general view about the company is the company looks at capacity, goes to 100%, and then puts up new capacity. So they are not mindlessly building capacity. So that's very good. Questions till now? Anything? No. Okay. Then I'll go forward. As I was saying, there was a diversification. I mean, they had originally multiple verticals, and now they have broken it down into 4 verticals. So to track it better, PFAS ban has really helped these guys. Another thing great about them is they have a robust supply chain. So their prices don't depend on the commodity prices. So basically, if the caustic chlorine prices fall, they don't get impacted so much because they have a backward integration. They have in Morocco, they have fluorospar. Yeah, that's basically the raw material for fluorine. They have a mine, and leased mine, and they get their raw material from there. So basically, their refrigerant acts as a feeder for TFE, that acts as a feeder for PTFE or PFA, and the input cost benefit can be passed on. So their input cost in terms of caustic chlorine, that's one of the input which is yet not decoupled from the market prices. In case there is a fall of it, they can pass on the benefits to the customer. So that's how they operate. If I look at bulk chemicals, so there's some capacity to come in, as I was saying, but then expect margin erosion. For new polymers, again, the volumes and price remain stable, and there's some debottlenecking to come up. The company expects price to be stable in the next quarters also. For PVDF, again, plant will be commissioned by sometimes of June 23, and commercial supplies may start by 4 or 6 months. So basically, by end of 2023, we should see uh, almost a large portion of PVDF coming up. Currently, the company has 1500 ton for fluoropolymer. They are taking the capacity through there. I mean, out of the 1500, they take 100 ton or 200 ton as per requirement for the battery grade activity. So that's also mentioned over here in the con call. Then there is the semiconductor. So there are only 3 players globally who manufacture semiconductor grade PFA, and GFL is one of them. So they have the monomer TFE as a part of their overall production, and they are also increasing their capacity to add more PFA, so that they are able to produce more high grades and high purity application. PTFE, as I was saying, the 3M push is really interesting. and this should give a lot of push to the company. For the new age Lip6, so a lot of interest from the concall question. I mean, people who were attending the concall was on the Lip6 because this can give that incremental growth, or not just incremental, exponential growth, in my point of view. They have sent the initial commercial capacity to the market, and we can expect by Q1 of FY24 that the line comes up, and then in the few quarters there will be some qualification and approval process, and basically 2500 crore of investment is being done on this one. um, the possible market size, so I was trying to make a possible market size. Currently we have 3500 gigawatt to 7000 gigawatt energy that is being consumed in the EV space globally. So basically if you take Lip6, you can take a number from 100 to 200 metric ton for per gigawatt. So that's the huge size. I mean, so basically it means it's almost 7 lakh, 3.5 to 7 lakh metric tons of Lip6. That is the total market size. And if GFL takes even say a 10% of it, that's huge. From refrigerant, again, it's as I was mentioning, there's some seasonal impact, but the demand is very robust, and every summer, and I mean Q1 and Q2 it shows good results. Wind power is again, they have some cost saving activity, so they have some wind power installation which can save around 40 crore, because GFL's um, power costs are very high. It's a very energy intensive business, and these were the guys who attended the con call, so many people are interested. Yeah. Questions? I made it into a very boring presentation.
No, it's all great learning for me. I don't know how much the others are able to absorb, Gaurav, because this is quite a technical company. But since I am aware of some of these things, this is extremely interesting, and the way you've documented it is great. I have a much better understanding now of what's
Yeah,
going on with the different products.
you can go through it. So what I intend to
Yeah,
do in the next quarters, because I mean I want to see, because the company is getting re-rated because of the influencing that is happening around here. Today it fell
yeah,
down by 2%. I had a hunch of it. I was looking at the technicals. If you see, let me show you. I made it. Oh no, I didn't do it. Anyways, so I had a hunch of it, and I felt like this is going at the top portion, but today it fell down by 2% from here. There's a support and a resistance, so this is the resistance, and it just fell inside the resistance. I'll
yeah.
see it, because GFL, I mean this quarter also they should not have very high earnings, so there it might actually come down to its support level. If it comes to say 2200 price level, it would be a very lucrative buy. Yeah,
Got it.
that's my point of view.
Right. Thanks a lot, Gaurav. Learned a lot.
I'm hoping this company falls. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So that is part one of the presentation. In the next part, maybe I'll talk more about the forensic score. So I was preparing the forensic score and trying to go step by step, but I'm not getting too much time. So let me see. Yeah, I'll try to complete it.
yeah. This should be interesting. If it clears forensic checks and everything, then you only have to worry about the chemicals, right?
Yeah, but the main problem with this company is a lot of things has to go right if they
Yeah,
have to be. But that's the leap of faith, because the promoter has been able to deliver. He's a guy who can walk the talk. This company has been able to walk the talk in the
right.
past. It has already doubled. I mean, from COVID lows, it's up 10x, and people, I mean, at least people that we know of, they expect it to go 10x in the next 10 years. So an annual
Yeah,
CAGR of 26%. So let's see
right.
how it works
It's an
out.
interesting company to keep tracking.
Yeah, but in general, due to the entire transformation in the EV space, um, Tata Motors and all of these people, they are getting into the commoditized part of the business, whereas GFL, company like GFL, is in the margin part of the business. So
Yeah,
so that I think all the premiums or all the margin would be stuck with GFL, and then Shivalik, and maybe Permanent Magnets or Sona Comstar. These guys will make the money.
yeah, the money. Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah. I think offline we can discuss Tata Chemicals also because
Mm.
I think that's an interesting company. Yeah,
Yes, I have a little stake in that.
right, right. Okay.
All
Thank you so
right.
much, Gaurav.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So guys, I will send the the list of things for your 5-minute presentation.